Are you having trouble in Ice Golem 25? Well, you've come to the right place. What is going on, Raiders? Soda Dragon here, and today we are talking about how to beat Ice Golem Stage 25 with free-to-play friendly teams. Alright guys, on to the team. So firstly, starting with Grush, he has a nice A3 that puts up continuous heals on the whole team. His A2 is nice as well. He does that attack down or crit damage down, and his A1 puts up a leech, single targets. So really good kit for keeping your guys alive. So Seal of the Drakes, we have her here for her passive healing. So on the start of her turn, 10% of everybody's max health is going to be healed. Plus, she has a nice revive with the ally protection, and she also has an AoE stun and a decreased speed on her A1. So really nice kit. So in the lead position, Sentinel Sentinel. She is really great for this run if you have her. All right, and she can be replaced. You can replace her with other characters that we'll talk about when we break down the gear stats and masteries of these characters. But she is definitely really good for this run. So if you have her, I'd recommend using her like I have her here in this lead spot. But she has a defense up, block debuffs, really good, so team-wide. Plus she has attack down on her A1 single target, and she has a really crazy passive that she can just negate somebody's damage completely. So when there's an AoE going out, one person on the team just won't take damage. It's really awesome to see. All right, we have Taurus. He's just a poison god. It's insane. And this guy, honestly, if you don't have the right setup, yeah, he's kind of garbagey, to be honest, because not only does he shoot out a lot of poisons, he takes his health down to pretty much 0. Now, he does put up an unkillable buff on himself, but still. But when you have this much healing with all these characters, so here we have 3 characters healing, that's fine. It's actually okay to keep him alive, and if we need to revive him sometimes when that unkillable wears off, that is why we have Seal of the Drakes. So he is coming in with absolutely huge AoE poisons. And we have Doom Priest here. She is cleansing everybody of 1 debuff per turn of hers, which is really great because those ads give us annoying debuffs. Plus she is healing everyone for 7.5% of their max health on the start of her turn. So really good. In this comp, we have 3 basic healers, and our damage dealer is going to be Taurus, and Sentinel Sentinel is going to be our defense champ. All right, guys, let's start off with Seal of the Drake. So how have I geared her? I have her in a Relentless set and an Immortal set. So that Relentless set, 18% chance to get an extra turn. Remember, these can proc in a row, so she can get 2, 3, 4 turns in a row sometimes. So all of a sudden, in conjunction with her passive, your whole team might have 20, 30, 40% of their max health all of a sudden with those extra turns. So really good for Sil. Plus that Immortal set, 15% HP and heals by 3% every turn. So she's getting extra healing on top of her own passive of 10% every turn. Onto her total stats. So here, I have her at 65,000 health. The attack is not relevant because her damage is based on defense. So defense here, I have her at 3,700. Speed 195, crit rate 29%, and crit damage 143%. No big deal because we're not really using her for damage. Debuff resistance 115 and debuff accuracy 261. So we don't have that much resistance. If we did not have Doom Priest or another cleanser in Doom Priest's place, it would probably be a good idea to build some more resistance to not get those debuffs from those ads. But since we do have Doom Priest, it's not that big a deal. On to her masteries. So here we have Life Drinker, really good for healing. So she heals for 5% of damage dealt when she's under 50% health. Normally this is not that big a deal as far as healing, but when you combine it with War Master and a boss with high HP, then yes, this is a lot of healing. Okay, so War Master, you can do bonus damage based off enemy max HP. So the higher max HP an enemy has, the more bonus damage you can do with War Master. So in conjunction with Life Drinker, yes, this is actually a good amount of healing. Here we have Spirit Haste, so increased speed by 8 for each dead ally, stacks up to 24. So really nice to get a speed boost when someone dies. So hopefully you can cut in and revive them or stun everybody or whatever. So really good for your healers, your support champs. And lastly, Sniper. So this is primarily for her A1 decreased speed. She has a strong version decreased speed on her A1, but it does not have a 100% chance to land. So this just increases those chances a little bit. Decreased speed is a really good debuff for a lot of bosses in this game, and you can decrease the Ice Golem's speed. So definitely this is a good choice for her. On to Sentinel Sentinel. So how have I geared her? So I have her and a speed set and a lifesteal set. So that's speed set plus 12% speed. Lifesteal heals for 30% of damage dealt. So this lifesteal set is really good in conjunction with War Master, so that mastery that we talked about earlier. So definitely lifesteal and War Master is a great combo for your tough enemies for keeping your champs alive. On to her total stats. So here I have her at 49,000 health. The attack is now relevant because her damage is based on defense. So defense here 3,400, speed 203, crit rate 36%, crit damage 107. So I'm not too concerned about that because we're not really using her for her damage. Debuff resistance 149 and debuff accuracy 292. On to her masteries. So here down the offense tree, you do see that Life Drinker and that War Master combo that we used earlier. So definitely good, especially in conjunction with a Lifesteal set. So Lifesteal set plus Life Drinker plus War Master equals big healing for your characters. Definitely a great combo for PvE. So I don't have all the scrolls for her, but if I did, I would definitely pick up Lasting Gifts. So that strong version defense up and block debuffs that she puts up on the whole team. You can extend that from 2 turns to 3 turns with this mastery. Potentially extend it, 30% chance, so definitely worth it. And also here, Master Hexer, she does have a strong version attack down on her A1. So instead of a 2-turn attack down, you can extend this to a 3-turn attack down. So I think Master Hexer is a good choice for her as well. On to Doom Priest. So how have I geared her? So here I have her in a Relentless set, 18% chance to get an extra turn, plus a speed set, so plus 12% speed. That Relentless set, just like Silver Drakes, she is healing everybody every time she gets that extra turn, plus she is removing 1 random debuff, so really important for those adds in the Ice Golem. So that speed is just making sure that she is getting her normal turns fast enough to potentially proc those extra turns. On to her total stats. So here I have her at a healthy 70,000 health. The attack 1900, defense is 2200. The speed here 229, so a really good speed. Once again, we're using her not only for her healing, but for her debuff removals, so for her cleansing abilities. So the faster she goes, the more chances she has to remove debuffs. Crit rate 27%, crit damage 119%. Debuff resistance 198, so we do have some debuff resistance on her, and debuff accuracy 100. We don't need any accuracy for her. On to her masteries, I'm just going to highlight a few. So here we see that same thing on the offense tree with the Life Drinker / War Master combo. So War Master is really important for doing damage to high HP bosses because it scales off enemy max HP. So definitely if you're thinking about fighting a boss with your particular character, you want to have most of the characters on your team, if possible, to have War Master or something else like Giant Slayer here. Okay, so this skill as well does damage based off enemy max HP. So the more HP they have, the harder these skills will hit. So definitely try to have War Master on most of your characters if you are using them for PvE and bosses. And for the support tree here, I do have Spirit Haste, so when someone dies, then she gets that speed boost. Really nice. And notice the left side of the tree here, these 3 skills in particular, what they are good for is increased healing. So Seal of the Drakes and also for Doom Priest, I run down the left side of the support tree. That increases the amount of healing. Normally the right side of the support tree will increase the accuracy. Okay, but with people that heal, especially off their passive, then this left side of the support tree is really good. Alright guys, on to the MVP of this comp. I never thought I would say this, but it is Taurus. So how have I geared him? I have him in 3 accuracy sets because he really needs the accuracy to land those debuffs. So I have him at over 300 accuracy, probably not needed, but I do use him for other areas. That's why I have so much accuracy on him. But if you want to put him in something like a lifesteal set, that would be fine too. It'd actually work probably better for this particular boss because we're overdoing it a little bit on the accuracy. But if you need the accuracy, pure accuracy, is fine to just go with accuracy sets, as you guys will see when we run this team. So why do we need Taurus and poisons for this boss? So in particular, we're trying to avoid a passive of his called Frigid Vengeance. So when you drop the Ice Golem under certain HP thresholds, 80%, 60%, 45%, 30%, and 15%, with regular attacks, then he's gonna counter by slamming you really hard and reviving his minions. But if you can get him under those thresholds with either poisons or HP burn, then you avoid that Frigid Vengeance. So that is really what we're trying to do. We're trying to avoid Frigid Vengeance by really dealing most of our damage in poisons. On to Taurus's total stats. So here I have him at 56,000 health. The attack is 2200. We have him at 2700 defense. The speed is 210. Crit rate 49% and crit damage 102%. Debuff resistance 101. It's low, but we have Doom Priest to cleanse off those debuffs. And debuff accuracy 336. On to his masteries, and as you can see, they are not finished, but what would I get? So for sure, I would get War Master, of course. As I mentioned, it's a really good PvE mastery, especially for bosses. So definitely War Master. I would get Life Drinker as well, as you guys have seen. And for sure, I would get Master Hexer, because he is putting up a ton of poisons, and Master Hexer just potentially increases that amount, okay? He puts up 4 stacks of 2-turn poisons. So all 4 of those stacks could potentially be 3-turn poisons. So think about it. He's putting up 4 stacks of 3-turn poisons. Just insane. So definitely Master Hexer is a great choice for your Taurus. Alright guys, on to our run. So for our run, this is a completely full auto comp, and there are no skill instructions to put in. You just let it go. And for me, I have about a 70% success rate. It's not 100%. And sometimes there's just barely a few people left alive at the very end, but you still win. So that's all that matters, right? Probably if I had better gear, or if I tried to comp with more legendaries, yes, your success rate would be higher. But with this comp, 70% is actually pretty good, considering the only legendary is Seal of the Drakes that free login legendary. Alright guys, usually more people stay alive, but they got it done. So there you go, free to play friendly team for Ice Golem 25. Alright guys, that is it for today. I hope this has been helpful in giving you some ideas about how to beat Ice Golems 25 with more free to play friendly characters. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.